Hi everybody, welcome to Talk Tuesday, which is as ever a little bit later than intended, so apologies for that. My schedule changed at the last minute, so I had to change things up. But anyway, let's get straight on with talking about keeping calm at Christmas. Now, I do a variation of this talk every year about this time because I think it is important that we remind ourselves of how we can keep ourselves calm and not getting caught up in the madness of everything that's going on around us. It's the 5th of December as I'm recording this, and already, certainly where we live, there are loads of houses with Christmas lights on. We've had lots of Christmas events already, so we're very much gearing up for 3 weeks' time. Is it 3 weeks? Yeah, just under 3 weeks yesterday, I think, Christmas Day. Anyway, that's beside the point. We are in that busy period when it's easy to get caught up in the frenzy, which is why I think it's a really good idea to just take some time out to think about ways in which we can keep calm. So I'm just going to give you a few tips, tried and tested. You will have heard them before, you probably know them yourself, but I don't think it does any harm to repeat them. So the first one is to be realistic. At this point, just think about what has to be done and what really doesn't have to be done. So, you might have great aspirations for clearing out a particular bedroom, clearing out a particular cupboard, whatever it is, before everybody descends for Christmas. But have a think, does that really need to be done? If it does, great, fine, get on with it. But there are other things as well. You might think, I'd really love to clean the windows in the house, but, does it really need to be done if it's just something that's adding to the pressure of your list? Whereas there will be other things that do need to be done, like buying the presents, wrapping the presents, making sure you've got food to cook on Christmas Day if you're, for yourself anyway, but especially if you're having visitors. You get the drift. There are things that have to be done and there are things that you can let go, however much you might want to do them. And I've always got this idea in my head of various things that I would like to do, but there are certain things that are not essential, and when it comes to it, they'll often go by the wayside because there's no point putting ourselves under pressure for unrealistic expectations. So the second really important aspect of all of this is to keep up your well-being practices. It is more important now than ever to keep up those practices because it is a time of extra busyness, and it's also easy in that time to let things slide, to think, I haven't really got time to do a meditation today, or I haven't got time to do my 10 minutes yoga when I get up, whatever it is for you that is your well-being practice. But keeping those up makes all the difference. And for example, for me, as I've said before, meditation is for me a daily thing. It's easy to let it slide if you get busy and you think, I better get on with something else first. But actually, I know that if I let that slide for a couple of days, I start to feel not exactly anxious, but not as calm as I do when I am keeping up my meditation practice. So you will have other things that are your well-being practices. You might like to go running every day. Keep that up. You might want to give yourself a day off, fine, but what I mean is don't just let it all go for a couple of weeks and then wonder why you're not feeling as calm as you normally are. So the third item on my list is all about balancing your energy. Now, this is important for everybody, but it is extra important if, like me, you're an HSP, a highly sensitive person, because with all the busyness and the chaos around you at this busy Christmas time, it's easy to become overstimulated, whether you're an HSP or not, but especially if you're an HSP. And so you really need to be careful to manage your energy. So that goes back to what I was just talking about and keeping up your well-being practices. But it's also about being mindful about what you are doing. There are all sorts of social invitations at this time of year, which is lovely, but you need to be careful about how you deal with them. For example, if you've got a big lunch and a big dinner with lots of different people on the same day, that can be really, really draining. And that's fine if you want to do both of those events, but you might just want to think about the day after, having a quiet day with no social engagement, so that you can just have time to recover your energy by doing whatever it takes for you to recover your energy, which might be going back to those well-being practices. It might be lying on the sofa watching TV for an afternoon if you can. Whatever it is for you, just have a think about it and try not to clog your diary up with back-to-back appointments and social events. I find that it really helps if I can spread those out with quiet days or half days when you can do things that are for you and things that you love, things that will restore your energy, rather than just trying to cram in another job that you've got to get done. So yeah, just be mindful of balancing your energy. And then the next one, which kind of goes hand in hand with that, is to be flexible, because yes, you will have certain social engagements that are in your diary and certain tasks that you have to do that are in your diary, but we all know that this time of year is prone more than any to the unexpected happening, in terms of, you know, maybe the neighbours decide to drop round for a Christmas drink or anything like that. I don't know, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head at the moment, but there are those things that just crop up. I mean, my day-to-day was an example of that, not actually because of Christmas, but the reason that I'm later than intended in doing this, I had scheduled to do my live at 1 o'clock. But what happened this morning was that in the part-time job that I do alongside my business, somebody had fallen ill, and I got a message this morning saying, could I come in and work this afternoon? Which I was able to move my schedule around to do. So my point is that kind of flexibility needs to be allowed for in the run-up to Christmas, not because of those kind of work issues, but because there will be things like somebody will suddenly say, oh, come to the pub with us, or come and I don't know, or somebody decides to visit, the kind of thing I mean. Things just happen, and if you are too rigid in how you want things to be, then that kind of unexpected event can really throw you out of kilter. Whereas if you have it in your head that these kinds of things are going to happen, and that you build in some flexibility and just allow it to happen, then it doesn't cause you as much angst, and you're able to remain calmer. And again, it comes back down to being realistic. If you have every single day packed with this job, that job, the other job that you want to do, it doesn't leave room for flexibility. But if you have been realistic and sort of jettisoned the things that aren't essential, and if you are also mindful of managing your energy so that you have allowed days in between all of these busy social engagements, then it gives you room for flexibility. So being aware of that, I think, just really helps in advance as well, so that you're not thrown out when the unexpected happens. And then the last couple of tips relate to really when it all gets too much. Up to now, I've been talking about how to hopefully find the balance that means it doesn't all become too much. But, it sometimes happens, and it just all gets on top of you. If you have a moment where you feel like screaming, then there are a couple of things you can do. The first one is to shake off that feeling. Really shake off, literally through your body, just shake off all of that negativity and anger and frustration that you're feeling, whatever it is. I mean, really go for it. I've said before that, if you use a song, a piece of music that you like, which is about a 3-minute thing, keep shaking for that period of time, and not just your hands, as you can see me doing now, but your whole body. You're shaking your shoulders with a bit of a shimmy. You can do it to a piece of music. I've often recommended Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, because of the lyrics of it, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be whatever bit of music really makes you want to go for it. And you don't even just have to shake. You can really punch and kick as much as you want, as long as there's nobody in your way or nothing in your way while you're doing it. And that will help to get that frustration and that anger, if it is anger, whatever it is, the tension out of your body. It really makes a difference. And then the other thing that you can do when you really have had it up to here, especially if you've got lots of people around you in your house, and that again is a big thing if you're an introvert and an HSP, but it happens to everybody, just get out. Just take yourself off for 10 minutes, you know, whether, you know, I don't know, if you've got a shed, go and sit in your shed. If you want to just walk around the block, just walk around the block. Actually, going outside is a really good thing to do because the fresh air helps you to take some deep breaths and just to calm your nervous system down. So that is a really good thing to do. You can go for walks with other people, obviously that helps, but if you just feel that you need to get away from whatever it is that's going on, you know, you've had people making demands of you and you're up to there, then just take yourself out of it. Just tell people, I'm just going for a walk for 10 minutes on my own, and just make it very clear that you don't want any company, and just do it. You know, people aren't going to fall apart if you're not there for 10 minutes, but you might fall apart if you don't take that 10 minutes. So it really, really is important to take that time for you. So those are this year's tips. I think I ran to 6 on my list. As I've said, they're not rocket science. I will have said them before. You've probably heard them from other people as well, but this is just a reminder of how you can work on keeping yourself calm this Christmas. So I hope you have a wonderful one. I hope you enjoy the run up to it as well. This sounds a bit like a sign off for Christmas, but it isn't. I'm just talking about it now because we're getting into that period. I am still going to be doing another couple of videos on Tuesday as usual in the run up to Christmas time. So have a great week, and I will be back here again next Tuesday at whatever time turns out to be right, which I will, as ever, post the day before. So thanks as always for watching, and bye for now.